Hi there, Aaron Dunn here from the SMSF Academy. In this video, we're going to go through our partial commutation document. So that is where you wish to undertake a partial commutation of an account-based pension. So we'll do a quick example here. We can always put in our reference, so we have that in the information in the completed order. And then we are putting in a specific address. Now, you do have the ability here to, once you add or start to pre-populate the fund address, that will pick up the address for you to complete, and you'll be able to reuse that address throughout the form. So we have here individual or company, the number of trustees, we're choosing the address. So again, you can see that from the previous one there. If we add in here John and Jane Smith, and we'll choose John as the chairman, and we'll put our meeting date, we'll call that the 1st of June 2016, and then we're going to be paying that commutation from John's account. So we'll have in here John was born on 1956. Again, that's his address, and we move through. So what we're now looking for here is his date of the benefit being commuted, and then giving consideration to some of the particulars of this commutation. So here we have the opportunity to give a name to the pension. In many instances, we have clients that have multiple pensions in place. So we'll say that this is from John's account-based pension number 1. We then need to include information about the rule that allows for a partial commutation to occur. So I'll just call it 60. It may be a rule, it may be a clause, subject to the deed that you're using. And then we put in the date of that commutation. So we'll say it was the 16th of June 2016. And now what that's done is that's populated how old John was at the time of the payment. Now that's important because of the accessibility of that payment and the utilization in this instance of his low rate cap. Again, we would have different terminology that comes out in the resolutions or minutes of the meeting and the communication to the member from the trustees where he was over 60 years of age. So the amount to be commuted here we'll say is $20,000. And in this instance, we then need to choose whether we're making an election under Regulation 995-103 of the Income Tax Assessment Regulations to treat the amount not as an income stream payment, a pension, but rather having it taxed as a lump sum. So at 59 years of age, we're going to be utilising that against the low rate cap rather than as accessible pension income to John. So we'll say yes, we are. And then we're asking here where there is a notice, an election being made to treat it as a lump sum, we therefore have the choice to make that payment by way of a cash payment or an in-specie payment. If it's a pension payment, we can only make pension payments by way of cash. So in this instance, we are going to make a cash payment, and then what it will allow us to do is to do a final review of the information in respect to the order here for John Smith, and then subject to whether you are a member, as a subject to your levels of membership, so gold and silver members, these documents are included as part of your membership. For our free and bronze members, you can purchase this, and at this point in time you would be able to include your details here to make payment. But as a member here, what we do is to simply submit this, and then it will take about a couple of minutes for that document to generate, which it will be not only stored in your completed area within campus, but you'll also get an email as well. So we can see here that this document has moved to here. So I'm just going to pause this and we'll wait until we see that being generated, and I'll show you the document as well. Okay, so we've just got our order now, and I've opened up the completed order here, and what we can see is this document is generated in 3 parts. One is the member notification, and in that notification we see the request to partially commute, we see what that pension was called and arranged to make that payment. There's been the election that has been chosen to treat the amount as a lump sum, and that it would ordinarily count toward the member's minimum benefit for the year, and then obviously to direct that to that member's personal bank account. We then have the minutes of meetings, so the trustees getting together, acknowledging the request, looking at the necessary powers to commute the pension, understanding that the election has been made by the member in respect to having the amount treated as a lump sum, looking at the obligations of the pension, the confirmation of the partial commutation, and then the respective trustee resolutions that need to actually be attended to. And then finally we have the notification back to the member acknowledging that that partial commutation has now occurred. So that's the approach in respect to completing our partial commutation. Like I said, you can use this in respect to members under 60, over 60, whether they're using the election under Regulation 995-103, and whether those payments then are physically paid in cash or in kind as an in specie benefit payment. So if you do have any other questions, you can contact us at info@smsfacademy.com.au or give us a call on 1300 959476. Thank you.